Hey everybody. If you're watching this video, please be sure to click the subscribe button right now as I try to grow my channel so you can get updates about new videos I post and stuff like that. All right, so we're back for another review of Growing Up Hip Hop, Season 7, Episode 10, 50 Years of Hip Hop, the finale. Okay, y'all, is it just me or I just feel like I just wish this show had a reunion of some sort. This is actually a place where we could finally get some clarity on some things like Cree and Brianna, but we'll get there. So the episode starts out with Tyran and Pep talking. Pep got a star on the walk a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Sorry. Ugh. Um, Tyran found out, and that's great. She accomplished her goal. Boom. Tyran found out there were multiple people invited to Egypt's wedding, and as her brother, he wasn't. And I can understand. I totally get why he's hurt, why he's frustrated, why he doesn't want to go because he felt slighted. I mean, at the end of the day, he is her brother. Okay, let's be clear. So Pep says, "I agree with you." Like she was, agreeing with him. I don't think affirming, but agreeing. And Pep, it seems, makes a lot of excuses when it comes to Egypt's behavior. Now, that is not unusual with the youngest in the family. Um, Tyran said, "My heart was broke." And he says that a couple of times. Tyran says he was hurt and he's not going because his heart was broken. And I think it does seem like Tyran's been passed over in the family by Pep and now Egypt. And I remember that even from when they just had that reality show on VH1. You remember that? Because it started to make sense when I saw him in his adult years. Then he just kind of looked like this kid who was just kind of popping off at the mouth at his mother, like teenagers do. But um, I think he really has, gone away, built these skills. Has this, little not yoga karate studio or something like that, and he's just taken it, kind of accepted the fact that Egypt's a little bit more favored and stuff like that, and he's hurt, and now he's trying to draw boundaries, and I get it. I get it. People go through that in families. I get it. Trust me. So I do have to say, Sam is doing a master job at driving a wedge between Egypt and her family, like a good abusive manipulator will do. Every time you turn around, somebody's dropping off. Somebody is separating from the crew. Mm, okay then. So Tretch and Lazy meet up at the bar. So Tretch gives his condolences to Lazy and his family and prayers up for Lazy. They're talking about the 50th anniversary hip hop show. They're talking about it like it's a versus, like something everybody knows about, like something that was advertised on the Shade Room. We know what's coming up. Like I'm just not okay. Anyway, so then Tretch brings up how she's talking to Lazy, but he's talking about how Sam disrespected him. Tretch calls Sam a broke building, and then continue by saying, and he's kicking the windows in, but his daughter is living in that house. And I was like, shit, when you say it like that, Tretch, that shit sounds just as bad as I thought it was. I was hoping I was wrong. All right. Anyway, I think Sam has made a very, 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 very dangerous mistake of disrespecting Tretch. That's a terrible decision, bruh. Terrible one. And calling him out of his name. Now we don't know what he called him, but Tretch said, out of respect, he's not going to Egypt's wedding because he would be the person who raises his hand when they ask about objections. He was like, because I can't keep it to myself, so I just think it is best that I just keep out of it. And you know what, Tretch? That's probably best, boo. So he says he feels like Sam took advantage of Egypt, having two famous parents, and he expected them to take care of him too. And I'm just sitting here like, duh. Like, we all saw this. We saw this before it really unfolded. We saw what kind of joke he was. And in typical abusive fashion, like I said, he is managing to isolate Egypt from the closest parts of her family. Because as Tretch points out, he went down the list. It's him, TT, Tyran, and these people were the closest in the family prior to Sam entering. Okay? And is it just me, or is Tresh the only person with some damn sense? Like, and I don't condone any form of abuse, period. And certainly not that placed on Pep. I don't play as domestic violence shit. But I can say this because I've said this in previous videos. I do feel like Treach is somebody who has done the work to be a better person. That is why I can say things about him and not just be like, you know what, I'm not dealing with that bullshit. Like the Chris Browns of the world, the people who don't take any responsibility for the kind of trauma they've inflicted. Like to ask me to forgive people who have not shown that they're sorry and want to be a better man, certainly in not implementing violence against women. No, I don't have any time for that. But I feel like Tretch has done that, so I can give that to her. I can rock with Tretch. So is it just me? And I actually think Tretch is a good example for some men who did not learn how to control themselves. So is it just me, or is Tretch the only person with some damn sense? And I'm just sitting up here like it looks like Tretch has done more to keep his family, sure, his family, but it's Pep's family by blood, right? He's done more to keep them together. He actually seems more invested in maintaining the family unit than Pep does for her blood family. TT is not his blood niece, okay? That was his niece by marriage and their divorce. Tyran is not his blood son. His son, nevertheless, don't get me wrong. But I'm just making a point. Like, and Pep is just kind of like passively letting all this shit go. Honestly, Pep, you still married and had a baby with a halfway decent man. Maybe he wasn't the man you wanted him to be at that time, but honestly, somebody who cares enough to help keep your family together in that way. Okay, I'm just pointing that out. Anyway, so Angela and Romeo meet up in the salt cave. Excuse me. That's some LA shit. That's all I'm gonna say. So he catches up with Angela. They're catching up talking. Angela's nice to film with him because I would have been like, fuck it. Romeo says the things he said about Angela weren't personal. And before I could even get it out of my fucking mouth, she was like, well, it felt personal. It was personal. You were attacking her, the way she dresses, the way she goes on Instagram, whatever. So he said, I apologize if it felt that way. Angela had the conversation with Romeo and demonstrated her own individual maturity. Romeo, I am so sorry to hear about the loss of your sister. I'm happy you're a father and everything. Romeo, but when you said you didn't know it was a big problem between you and Angela, so you just avoided it, you told on yourself. Why were you avoiding it if you didn't think it was a big deal? But okay, Romeo, okay. Is it me or is Romeo just preachy? Like he's just preachy, and I find that annoying. Um, then he tells her he's engaged and he's gonna get married and he's gotta step up. He's wearing the ring. Got it, bro. Next. Okay, anyway, so Eric is FaceTiming Sam about the wedding. Eric is such a girl. I just can't. I cannot. He's FaceTiming finding out about Sam's sentencing, their wedding, and Egypt's pregnancy. Sam is like, it's a scary feeling, but he can't be no sucker. Well, you already are a sucker with them braids you had in the confessional. Anyway, Sam is stupid and a train wreck. Egypt, run. Get away, okay? He does bring up how he got locked up. He said he didn't tell his kids he was in jail. Eric is saying this. He talks about how he got locked up and he was like, I just had a fucked up judge. I believe it. I believe it. Especially for a black man. I believe it. He said he didn't tell his kids he was in jail. And he says they thought he was on a tour in China. And we can judge and say, "Oh, you shouldn't lie to your kids." First of all, I'm not into that. There are some things kids should not fucking know. Now, whether or not we think this is a good parental decision, I don't know. But I do think people do the best they can sometimes in those situations. It was a fucked up situation. No, I don't think kids knowing that their father's in prison if they're really young is the best. I think that can only be made, the decision made by the parents and the decision made by um the person who's in jail, the parent that's in jail. That's it. I actually don't have any judgment for that. But I do think that Sam needed a wake up call. Um, so he said, and one of the things Eric mentioned was that his daughter told him his son, who was really young at the time, got real quiet after he left. And I was like, he was probably traumatized. And those are just the things you have to think about. And I do applaud Eric, despite, what I think about Eric, for sharing that with him. Like, this is real life. You have a baby on the way. And it ain't like Sam has two other kids, but goddamn, how many chances you need to get it right? Anyway, so Vanessa and Angela go out, like sisters do. So they're checking up on each other, and Vanessa's talking about how she had her lipo and she's struggling with food and maintaining her weight and just trying to remind herself it's all mental. I think Vanessa is so beautiful. I think she is so pretty. And I hate how I feel like she always has these scenes where she always has something negative to say about her looks or her body, because I'm looking like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, she's skinny. Who don't want to be skinny? She's gorgeous. Who don't want to be gorgeous? Like, she's rich. Who don't want to be rich? Like, girl, it like, come on. Um and I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't, and I do, but I don't understand why Vanessa is not married to her baby daddy. Like, I just feel like she's too nice, she's too beautiful, and she, unlike Angela, and this isn't a read on Angela, Vanessa's been with this same guy for like a decade. Like, in her adult years, decade. Not that 20 to 30 kind of you still growing up. Like 30 and a 40. And Angela, has dated different people, so it's not like she's staying on the same person, that kind of thing. And I just don't understand how her baby daddy, who I think is like one of the Wayans brothers or something, well, one of the Wayans brothers' kids or something, is so ugly and unattractive, honestly, and doesn't realize, perhaps, that this is as good as it's gonna get for him to find somebody like Angela. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, she seems like she should be somebody's wife. Like, she has that look, she has that appeal. And I think sometimes when you stay in a relationship like that, where it appears to me that you're not appreciated, you're not valued enough for a man to marry you, or not valued by him, not because you're not valuable, it can make you start to believe those things and be afraid to see what else is out there because you think nobody else will. Trust me, Vanessa, you'll get somebody else, honey. Let that dead weight go. Um. Anyway, Vanessa, trust me, it's worth it. That's just my advice. So, the 50th anniversary of the hip hop party, everybody is showing up. By everybody, I mean the cast. Cree starts talking shit about Brianna having spoken to her or something in the parking lot. I don't know. To Eric and JoJo. Cree, this is the fucking problem I have with you. Cree, like, you go and do this petty ass shit. And the thing is, Cree has this thing of taking like a, a incident with another chick and then like taking it to a whole ass group of people. Like, bitch, are your scenes not interesting enough? Like, what the fuck? She's always in something. I had such high hopes for her, but now now I'm thinking that what she came on talking about was actually a performance, because this may be just who she is. Anyway, so then Sequoia's ghetto, messy, dumb ass goes over and tells Brianna what she overheard. And was I being messy? But I was coming from a pure place. If you were being messy, it's not pure, you dumb fuck. And that ugly, bright, yellow, furry sombrero in that damn confessional. What the fuck was that? Girl, bye. Anyway, so Cree was whack as hell for doing what she did. Facts. Sequoia, but you should not have gone back and escalated that situation by acting like a 15-year-old ninth grader trying to fit in with the cool girls. Well, you know what she said about you. I got to give it to Cree, though. I do have to give it to Cree. Cree ain't no punk. Cree ain't no punk. If her and Brianna fight, I don't know who's going to win. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. I'm being honest. All right? But she's making a fucking fool of herself on this show. Like, Brianna was like, why are you talking shit? Cree keeps fucking with her. And then when she keeps doing her Look at you. I don't talk to nobody. I don't take drugs. That shit was so corny. It was so corny and so whack and so corny. Like, I just can't. So JoJo tried to reason with Brianna, takes her to the side, checked on her to kind of ease it because he knows what Brianna's capable of. Because they're at an event. He asked Brianna if she wanted him to deliver, the message where she's talking shit, this and the other. She said, "You ain't got to deliver shit. I'm grown." I said, JoJo gave her a high five, and I said, "Yes. Yes, Brianna. If there is anything to be delivered, you deliver it yourself." And I appreciate you saying that. All right. So they bring Lazy on the stage to start this hip hop thing, looking like the devil's cousin, all that red and glitter. Anyway, so Devin Casey's son comes out rapping. And the thing is, this boy hasn't said nothing, no whole lot on this show. He just sits there and listens to Sequoia bitch about shit that don't make no sense. And I just think he's corny. He just comes off as corny. And he comes off as corny, I think, because he's trying to make us believe that he's kind of like a rap thug. And he's not. He looked like a private school kid who just, went to college, got a degree, in computer technology and does IT for like, Chase Bank in New York or something. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But I was just like, why is he rapping with the track playing? Like how you would let a track play if you lip synced, but it was like he was rapping with the track that you would use if you lip sync. So it just seemed like he was like echoing himself. It was whack. All right. So then they showed Denise in the confessional, and Denise was like, well, for a long time they questioned what Devin even did. And she was like, and now they know, and that was cool. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I questioned it. But Denise, we're also wondering what you do too. Okay? You're too young to not have a job and or career. And that's all I'm going to say for the moment. So Sequoia was lip singing her ass off, taking the mic away from your mouth. Like, you remember Rihanna did that? Okay, but the difference is you ain't no Rihanna. So I was just looking at her like, okay, there is a time to present your talent and not your attempted talent. And you failed, darling. Maybe you should go back and hire your mother. All right, anyway, so Twist performed. He was good. You could tell he writes his own lyrics. That's all I'm going to say. But this performance was very much, this whole hip hop thing, this 50th anniversary thing was very much an LA thing with a bunch of racially ambiguous people. Okay? Like you go, you don't know what they are, who absorb black culture and then turn into Karens as soon as they cross the threshold back over and in that club. A bunch of Karens and Chads, okay? So Eric and JoJo are performing. JoJo is not a rapper type either. Like, I just think these kids had a different upbringing. They went to private schools, they got educations, they have access to money from the gate, right? So the kind of stuff you rap about is not going to be the kind of stuff, I mean, if it comes from a sincere place, unless it's political, the kind of stuff you rap about isn't really like, hood. You know what I mean? And that's fine. But I think they have to recognize that they are in a completely different lifestyle than their parents were when they were kind of having to be thirsty for it and get it. And just accept that. So anyway, Eric and JoJo performed a song called Legacy. And I personally think there's a power in understanding your lineage and also understanding your skill set. Okay? So it was better than I thought with JoJo's rap lyrics, but I had a very, very low bar. Okay? Was Angela and Vanessa there? I didn't see them. Okay, anyway, Eric's was worse. Like, I knew Eric was corny because of his behavior, but damn. Like, it wasn't good. You're not Easy E. Anyway, was it me or did Denise not even look excited with her phone? She was just sitting there kind of like, and I'm just sitting there like, girl, rep your man, even if it's bad. Damn. So anyway, Corrupt and Young Gotti come and perform in old hip hop style. They had 45 motherfuckers on stage. Remember they used to do that at the Source Awards? Everybody had to be on stage. So Tretch came out and performed, and Tretch is like a OG, like a real one, naughty by motherfucking nature, okay? The crowd did not appreciate that legendary motherfucking performance they got, okay? And I didn't appreciate that, okay? That, like, I hated it. It can't be any easier to do the hip hop, hooray, ho, and they just couldn't, like cartoon characters. Like, I just, no. Anyway, I mean, that's legendary. Y'all don't have 30, 40 years to figure this out. So hip hop, lazy, sir, it's not in good hands. Don't say that. It's not. Not from these people. All right? These kids went to private school and it shows. And it's, I'm not going to bother wasting my time saying this is not a read. It is a read, but just know who you are. Anyway, so Egypt's wedding, they give us, I can't believe how far they condensed this. So Tyran, as usual, comes through as a supportive big brother. You have to appreciate that about him. And walked Egypt down the aisle. Tretch stayed home. I really don't think he would have done anything like that if Sam hadn't crossed him. Whatever it was, because real gangsters don't talk about whatever it is, it's just kind of on site. Whatever it was bad. And Sam talks too much, so I can believe that. She did have on a beautiful dress, pregnant and all. But even as I watched that confessional, I felt bad for Tretch. I did. Because he was clear his daughter is his everything. And I think he just is at that point. Like I said, like Egypt, if she was, at a regular age, she probably would have just been getting out of college, so on and so forth, and trying to, get her life started. Had she done it, kind of a traditional, regular way. And she just caught up with a no good. And yeah. But their babies due this month. I don't know if y'all know if they had it or not yet. I know y'all don't really follow these people. But let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, let me know any shows y'all plan on watching too. All right. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.